starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, this is your girl SC Bookout 843 Patrice Grimble, and it is another Tuesday night, so y'all already know what we're doing. New book, new author, we chatting. So everyone knows that what's coming up this Sunday? Mother's Day, that beautiful day where we honor the women in our lives. Now, notice I said women and not just mothers because in a way I feel almost every woman has that motherly spirit, but there are some obstacles might be in the way and some just like, hey, I don't want none. Okay. Like for instance, I have one sister that has no kids, but she got, hold on, five nieces and nephews. So in a way she's like their second mom too. So this whole month on Etsy Book Gals and Friends, we are honoring the mothers to be, the auntie mommies, women in general, okay? So every author this month is going to line in that category. Sorry, fellas. Next month is for y'all, okay? Don't worry. You know I ain't going to forget y'all. But tonight I have an author with me. She has several books. She got some journals. She have a couple of kids, and they seem to be doing real good because I'm hearing her talk, and I'm hearing like some high standards. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up Miss Cheryl Norton Legrand. Come on up, girly. Come on up. How
Yes,
are you?
I am doing great this evening. Thank you for allowing me to be up here. Yes.
Thank, thank you for being with me. So
Mm,
before I go any further, Happy Women's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
same to you. Yes.
You are so welcome.
Mm.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Cheryl Northern LeGrand. I am originally from Newark, New Jersey. I reside in Knightdale, North Carolina. I was a military wife for 14 years. That's how I got here. Also, I started writing my books after I got a divorce. It became my healing process. So I started off, I had a family member come to my house and she was like, "You have a story." And it was truly a blessing. I was keeping kids at the time, a lot of kids. And I was like, "How am I gonna do this?" I've been keeping kids for a while. And what happened was nothing but God. When I started writing my books, I didn't have no Wi-Fi. I started writing my books on hotspot and I just kept writing and pushing. And I made a lot of mistakes at first and people kept buying them. And the next thing you know, I just didn't stop. I didn't quit. And I tell anybody, whether you have money or don't money or no money, just step out on faith. So with me, it became a journey. And at the time, I had a son that used one side of his body with cerebral palsy. So as I was pushing him, I was pushing myself. And it has been truly a blessing to be able to share with the world um, your truth, your testimony, because it's not about me. It's about another Cheryl, another Mary, or another job. So that's what keeps me going every day. When we here to serve. It's not about us.
That is, everybody uses books as healing. And
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that a lot. Working at the library, I've known a lot of people to say, "Oh, I just want to get this book just to read it." And the healing is sometimes of information that they receive. The healing sometimes is that escaping getaway.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's just pure entertainment. So I just want you guys to know now, healing doesn't have to be
Right.
hard, harsh.
Mhm.
Um, Even though most of it is, I won't say most of it isn't. Most of it is, but people don't look like they're struggling.
Mhm.
Always remember that.
Okay.
So, how does being a mother and being an author work for
Uh,
you?
at first, it was difficult because my children was younger when I got started, but I involved them. So my daughter and my sons, they started helping me do my book covers. And that's one thing I learned. We have every nationality that help each other. With me, everything I do, I involve my kids. So in our trial and error, we became a team because I was doing band, we're doing football, track, and everybody is 2 years apart. So can you imagine? And at first I was angry and mad. When you get a divorce and I was married like 20 years in the military, right? You get angry. But I thank the Lord that He turned my anger into healing. I had friends and family that I travel with. But with me, how it worked, because I got my children involved. The same way we get them involved in ministry and we have them go to church. Everything that I do, I have my children. Any business, anything I do, I have my children get involved, and I get involved with them. So it's become a team. So it's no longer such a struggle. They do the reviews. They'll look at it and say, "No, mom, you need to take this out. You need to do this out," or "No, you writing like you speak. You need to change this, or you need to change that." So with me, it became a blessing. Whenever you get your family involved, your children with you, it'll become better because in that way it's like, okay, I'm gonna spend this time after you do their homework, do stuff with them. Okay, we're gonna do this, and guess what, they are doing this as well now. My son write books for the band and do the covers. You don't know when God give us something, it's not about us. We don't know what is planted in our children when they see us. That don't mean we
Mm,
perfect, we got it all together, but He already is planting that seed, and we don't know what seed He's going to be planted. So they end up, what they help me do, they doing it as well. They doing it in a different way, but they are doing it now. So that's how I balance my life out, getting them involved.
I love that because I have to admit, the generation under me,
Hmm.
they're not as involved with their kids like they used to.
Hmm.
I I'm a very involved parent. My kids are 12 years apart. Yes, Lord, 12 years apart.
Mm.
Whew.
I'm glad.
And the last one is a girl, y'all. Yeah, you already know how I feel. So I have to admit, being there for her and all the
Mhm.
activities that she's involved in is
Mhm.
way more harder than it was for my son. But I don't want
Yeah.
to give her the end of the stick. So I find myself having to take the time off to be inside her programs. And if I can't make it, I will tell her. I will tell her teacher, hey, I can't
Mhm.
make it, but what is the next thing and I can show up? And there are times she doesn't even know that I'm in the building in the school.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
And
do pop up.
Miss Tiffany, I'm not cutting you off. I think for me, not cutting you off, I was told I would never ever have children. So I didn't have them to 34, 36, 38. That makes a difference. And I'm an older parent. So I did things with them that me growing up in Newark, I didn't want to do and I didn't do. It's a totally different. I was having a good time. My children are totally the opposite of me. They wanted to always be the leader and the front. So that took me out of my comfort zone and to be the leader. Somebody calling me, but I'm not gonna answer. So it would happen.
I,
Um,
I
not
totally
cutting you off.
understand.
So
I
that's
totally
what happened with me. Yes,
see you had your kids at 35, 37,
34 and
34.
38 because the doctor told me I would never in life have them.
Yeah, he told me that same thing too. Went to the doctor for a headache and came out with a whole baby. Okay. Oh my God. So how is it? How does it feel to have a baby that, oh Lord. How did you, how did you
Oh
do
my goodness.
it?
Well,
How did you do it?
well, I'm gonna be honest with you because I was getting ready to adopt. They told me I would never have them, and my I came cycle with all of them, but it was very challenging because I had three emergency C-sections. I had to push with all three of them. Then after my daughter, I had preeclampsia and toxemia. They gave me a Down syndrome book because that's what they thought. But God is so good. So I had to sign my daughter over to my ex-husband and my mom for maybe like 4 or 5 months because with preeclampsia and toxemia, I stayed in the hospital. Then they told
Mm,
me not to ever in life have another one. So when my ex-husband got to went to Fort Hood, I had my other son, which is have cerebral palsy, use one side of his body, but you wouldn't know. You would think he got a little limp because he's in a marching band. He played football. He played track, so you wouldn't know because it's in a slight motor. Then with the
mhm,
last one, I was 38 and I was at Fort Campbell and I was really sick. And he took the military ID to get my medicine, and they did all my blood work. And I came home, and he said the nurse got something to tell you. I said what? He said, well, you're gonna have it for a long time. I said, have what? When she told me I was pregnant, I was like, are you serious? But it was God's timing because I
mm,
wasn't ready for that. And we got to remember that He knew what time when I was going to be ready. I am the oldest grand at that time, but it took me the longest. That they was like, sure having the baby, sure having the baby. It's like it went on the news, but and it's challenging when you are older. Even now, I have one in Texas, I have one in Greensboro, I have one in Durham. It is challenging because my nerves are not like it used to be. But I'm grateful that all three of them graduated. I'm grateful that they all are busy, but we got to pray more now because it's a whole lot more go on now. So I don't know if it's better to have them when you're younger or you older. But to me, you don't get no book for being a mother. Um, you just have to pray, and then being a
yeah.
single mom on top of that with two sons and a daughter. So
It
it's something there. Hmm.
it's you are so right with right now having
Hmm.
kids in this day and age with
Hmm.
everything that's going on. As I don't have a problem telling people my daughter. I found out the day she learned my password. I already told her
Mm.
about to change because you won't be giving yourself extra screen time.
Yes.
Phone shuts off at 4. I monitor what she looks at on TV. I
Hmm.
am very particular even in what she wears because the influences of today
Hmm.
is totally different than the
Hmm.
influence that we had back in the day. We
Yeah.
had Sweet Valley High, and the most dangerous thing they did was kiss. And when
Hmm.
they kissed, we would turn our heads, or my grandma would be like, "Turn your heads. You don't need to look at that." Now it's
Hmm.
a total different ball game. Okay. So I
Hmm.
truly understand where you're coming from. How
Hmm.
does how does being an author affect your writing? As well, how does being a mother affect your writing? That's my question.
Sometimes it could slow you down. When they was younger, it did slow me down. I wanted to tell you why you think you putting that phone down. If you got Wi-Fi, they could turn it on when you're not looking. So let me just let you know. You may be turning off, but if your daughter got Wi-Fi, she could still be on the phone. But what
Ooh.
I'm just letting you know heads up. But what I'm saying is that it's challenging. When you're a mother and you being an author because you want to put your all into them. But then I learned how to say, okay, it's time for mommy. And I'm gonna do this at this time. Because you have to cook, you be with them. But as they get older, to me, it gets better. Because
Mm,
now they evolve in different things. in college. They're in the fraternity, they're in the sorority, they're in different stuff, they doing music. So it makes it a lot better. But I can say it's still a blessing. When I have issues, I can still call my daughter and son to this day to review my books or look at. And that is the blessing. Or say, Mommy, I don't think you should do this book cover right here. That's not saying anything. Because like I said, my first couple books, I made mistakes because I didn't have no internet. Like I said, I was doing it off a hotspot, trying to publish it myself. But as I got better and as I got learned and we all did it together, it is truly a blessing when they be honest with you. Some people will tell you to put it out, but my children are bold and they be honest. I don't think you should put that out right now. And that to me is very humbling. And I love the fact that we still have that collaboration together, even though we all live in different places.
You just took away my questions. I was going to ask you, how did it feel to have the backing of, I call it the crew, your kids? How did it feel to know that
They gone?
you, yes, 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 God too. But how did it feel to be like, you know what, you got your own support team like right there, and they
It's a
support you.
Well, my aunt is a year older than me. Actually, even how I met Miss Angela, my aunt, I started with her. We was called an author in motion. We still very close. We in different business together now. And she is the one, her and two other my friends I'm in business with still, is the one came to my house and put it, they said, one day your children are going to leave and you need to find something because you do track, football, everything. But what about Cheryl? Because we can lose ourselves being a mother, a wife, or whatever the case may be. Then we get a divorce. You can go into depression. I thank the Lord that I didn't stay there long. But she was saying they are going to leave. I said, but I was keeping kids. She said, okay. Then I was doing lives. Like I was doing lives every week and I was nervous about that. I record myself. And then when I started doing this, it got easier and easier. But as they grow up, to me, it get easier and easier because we all live in different places and we still collaborate. I mean, we get on Zooms and I'm gonna say this for what's going on in the world because we don't know. We have to pray about what our children see out there. But I tell
Mhm.
anybody the world that we living in because we don't know. You can go to church and jump over the pastor head. You could do everything, think you're doing everything right. We don't know. But I would tell everybody try to get involved with your younger adults. We tend to say, oh, they 16, 17, they grown. No, they're not. That's when we really got to be involved in their life because this technology, they know how to hide things. You think I used to think my daughter phone when I turn it off, and I was like, why is she laughing when I come in the room? Because I had Wi-Fi. So if you turn your daughter phone off and you're not home and she got Wi-Fi, she don't have to have her phone on. She could still FaceTime or talk to her friends through that. So I want you to know that. When they're on the games, they could talk through the Wi-Fi through the game. So
Yes, yes,
things
yes.
with that
So
Wi-Fi that you got to pray about. And so I just tell people just get involved with your family as much as possible because the world is getting involved with our children if we don't.
and you are so true to the fact that if I turn my background off, y'all, yeah, it'd be a crazy situation. But in this corner over here, all electronics
Mhm,
are brought in my room. At
mhm.
night, the remote even comes in my room.
Good, that's
Yes,
awesome.
I don't do that because I've
Mm-hmm.
been in situations before. I've seen like kids on the phone 24/7. When I even have little cousins come over, because I am an older cousin, just like you, I'm the oldest. So
Okay.
I do have younger cousins that are like 10 or 11, and they would come over. Literally, I would tell them, I just had a cousin over maybe spring break. Yeah, it was spring break. I told my little
Mm-hmm.
cousin, I said, we don't do screens all the time here. My daughter is 10
Mm.
years old, you guys, and we still got a Barbie dream house
Oh,
with a
that's
club.
beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
I hear her and her little friends in there talking like the little Barbie doll. And I remember that when I was younger. And I take
Mm-hmm.
pride in saying I still want her to enjoy her childhood. So what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying is totally, totally correct. And it's reaffirming how I feel. So I want to thank
Mhm.
you for that.
Amen.
So out of your kids, we're gonna have a little fun. Who is your biggest critic?
Woo, the youngest one. That's he. Woo, my
Why?
goodness. He is. I could go outside and be like, "Mama, you ain't mad." I mean, like, boy, I'm only going to the mailbox. He is my outspoken like me, and the other ones say stuff, but he's a little bit loud with it. Nah, Mama. I mean, like, I'm just going, Mom. You don't need that green, blue, and orange on. But he is. I'm gonna say all of them, but the youngest one is my biggest critic. Even when I was doing this with you, he was like, Mama, you keep clicking off, hit that, hit this. I was like, just click on. She can hear us. He was like, but he is my he is the youngest one is my busiest one. He traveled doing music,
Oh,
online
okay.
to school. Yeah, that's the one I'd be like just praying. I tell all my children right now, I'm not worrying about them, but pray who you around. Um, that's my biggest thing. I
Facts.
don't worry about them. I never want y'all to get caught up being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That is
Yeah.
my biggest thing. Just be careful, especially with him in the music industry. And my daughter, she's a critic too. She's in law school in Texas, Thurgood Marshall. She's in grad school. But I'm gonna say even my middle son, they all are critics, but my youngest one is my biggest critic.
It's always that youngest one to me that
Ooh,
has out or outspoken personality, or what I like to call them,
mhm.
the family spokesperson. Okay.
Yes, he
That
definitely
would
is.
be my daughter. And
Mhm.
I got my little nephew. I
Mm.
I say he suffers from short man complex, but he ain't got no
Oh,
problem putting me in my place.
yes.
Dang.
It's always the youngest ones, always.
Always. And the oldest ones to me seem to be the humble child. And
No,
because not for you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. My youngest and my oldest, woo, I was like, woo. Mm. I said, I mean, even though they real smart, but I remember when she was in school, and I remember I was like, because I was at the same school for 8 years for each one, because you got to remember, mine's are 2 years apart. So every band teacher they followed my daughter.
Oh,
And
wow.
they did football. Yeah, like even at A&T, my daughter was in college there. She did marching band, and my middle son, who used one side, he did marching band. He doing so well where he was a contender at A&T, like making his own music there, doing certain things because he can draw. And then my youngest one is doing music where he's traveling. That is something in them. So they kind of follow my daughter.
So your
So
daughter is your Lucas.
my daughter, the oldest, she's
Okay,
24.
okay.
And
Well,
she
hi,
went 17 hours away in Texas after she got through with college. She said, Mommy, how you feel about me going to grad school in Texas? I said, you know what? I left Jersey. I said, you got to follow your dreams and your heart. And I said, I got your back, whether it work or not. And next year will be her last year. She will be taking the bar, I mean, the test. But she's enjoying it. She don't like all those storms, but my daughter is there.
that is awesome. But that says a lot to you, Mom. That
Hmm.
says a lot for you. It
Yes,
says a
it's
lot.
a lot.
So
There's a lot. Mhm.
I didn't tell you about the last 5 minutes of my show. Hmm. The last 5 minutes of my show, I love to have fun. I love
Okay.
music and I love TV,
Mhm.
movies, videos, things along that
Okay.
line. So I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Yes.
Who do you consider the best TV mom and why?
Mm. Who do I say? I used to like Cicely Tyson for me.
Ooh, okay, okay, okay.
And the reason why she could play all type of roles, from the old to the young. 'Cause I think the last one she played before she died was a Tyler Perry movie when she was what was that movie where they were kidnapping the older people. But it was something about her, to me, her spirit, her aura from the Tyler Perry movies to Sidney Poitier, whatever she did, she had something on her. And one more I liked it now was the one who played on Bill Cosby. Now I ain't gonna front. I liked the one from that did on the Cosby. That's another one. But to me,
Felicia
since we have,
Rashad.
yes, them
Okay.
two, I think they number one because they can go
Okay.
either way. And they had that spunk with them.
Yeah, I can see that. Cicely Tyson, I mean, just a trailblazer when it comes to the entertainment industries. And Tyler Perry did take her under his wing and under his umbrella and made sure
Mhm.
that, hey, we as a younger generation did not forget those who blazed the trail. And
That's
Felicia
right.
Rashad, she's
Woo.
still going right now
Mhm.
as we speak. I know she's supposed to be on a new movie that comes out. I cannot remember the name. I'm looking at the preview, but I cannot remember the name. But yes, those are two good ones. Those are two good
Mhm.
ones. I can see those two.
Mhm.
So let's go to the music industry.
Mm.
Who, if you could choose for them to be your mother, who would it be
Mm.
and why?
Back then for me, it would have been Patti LaBelle and Gladys.
Ooh,
Yeah,
what?
would have been Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight.
So
Yes,
now you gotta
them
tell
two.
me why.
Patti LaBelle was so classy. She came out with her little stuff on, but she did her thing. She loved to cook. She kept a smile. She played on different worlds, so many things. She just didn't do singing. She did it all, like Dan Carroll, all of them. I like all of them, Dan Carroll, her. But in the music business, it would be Patti LaBelle and Gladys. Now, I like Gladys because she had that soul in her when she sing. It's like like that could be your aunt or your mom. You know, you can put that potato salad on and do that. They just had back then to me versus now, and even my kids listen to that kind of music. Actually,
Yes.
they have
Yeah.
aura about it. You could be sexy, but you don't have to be all out there. They were sexy, but they still had class about themselves instead of
Yes.
the stuff that they doing now. They showed some, but they still had that step and that aura, Patti LaBelle about it, and that's what I love. Um, the
Okay.
aura that was inside of them, and when they sung through their heart. Now I don't know what they be saying. I mean, I'm just
You
being honest,
felt that.
but
You
yeah,
you felt when Patty was singing now. You felt that.
woo,
Nowadays, I can't even remember the last time I listened to the radio recently because I
I
can't
don't
get
know.
into what they're singing nowadays. I
You
can't
can't.
get into it. I just, oh, and the way y'all dress.
You
Yes,
better
I'm a
speak.
big girl. I ain't
Mhm,
mad at y'all little girls and y'all tiny little things, but good God, seriously?
And
That's all I can
this
say.
one too.
Seriously.
The thicker little girls, the mother should tell them because I know the beauty is not about weight, but I might can't wear what you wear, and you might can't wear what I wear. But for some reason, everybody just showing everything now. And we did stuff, but I think it's on another level now. Because I mean, I just think it's on another level now.
Yes, 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 yes. And unfortunately, it's one of those things whereas in it's truly society and what they see. Now today at work I look at some of those Met Gala outfits.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Some of y'all know y'all wrong. Y'all been cute. I'm gonna give you that. But come on, man.
Hmm. And
Y'all wrong.
we didn't have social media. I'm kind of glad we didn't because these babies are being exposed now. Human traffic. It's so sad. I thank the Lord we were sheltered from that from social media because social media is good, but if the wrong person tap into it, and unfortunately with our babies, the enemy is being busy, and we do have to pray now for our children. That's because even if we take it away, we got to pray what they see in schools, on the bus, these little kids, somebody else, the friend may let them, and other parents are not the same either. Um, the
Bingo.
the parents, which when I was raising Sierra and Samuel, was totally different from Isaiah. I knew all of my oldest two parents, but the younger generation, I like you bugging them when you check on the kids. It was a totally different opposite, which make things a little different now as well.
It is truly because I can remember getting in trouble when I was younger and
Hmm.
walking home from school. There were several mother figures that were along the way, and they would have heard what would happen. I would have
Hmm.
gotten chastised by each one of them and then got the worst when I got home.
Hmm.
Okay. Nowadays, you can't do that. You can't chastise these kids. You can't tell them when they're wrong because guess what? Mama gonna
Hmm.
get mad 'cause you jumped on her son. Mama gonna get mad because you told her daughter she shouldn't be talking like that and walking like that. But what happened to the village mentality?
I was blessed in that area. My sons them had some coaches, and to this day, when they see them, they say yes, sir. And I was around other single parents that we could check each other kids. Now I can't do it to them other kids, but I was blessed for the being band and football and track. We was able to check each other kids, but them same coaches now that's coaching, if they say something to a child, it is a problem. But when my children was younger, they was able to do that. But now I don't know if they can. But I'm so grateful that we had a community that we was in that they could check my sons. Even in college, they call and check on them from the band teacher, the football teacher, and the track to this day, and that is truly a blessing. Mhm.
It surely is, and I do have a village, and I learned that when I was younger from my family. I learned that younger from my grandparent and my mother is that you need a village, and even if your village is just you and somebody else, you got a village. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? Because
mhm.
yo, I'm gonna be honest, we can't do this on our own.
We can't.
We
We got to
can't.
pray, and we need more prayer, and we need some people because
What
it ain't no joke out here.
talk about the prayer, the getting up, late nights, and just with your eyes wide open while somebody getting on your nerve. Father God, in the name of Jesus, please erase all thoughts. So
Mm, mhm.
before we end tonight,
Yeah.
you have to tell us how we can follow you, your
Mhm.
books. I
Yeah.
need the rundown.
Okay. With my books, I'm on Amazon. I can give you my website. I have it on all my pages where you can actually go on Amazon to find me. You can also go on Instagram to find me. It would be Cheryl Northern. And yeah, and then on Facebook it's Cheryl Northern LeGrand. I have an author page. What I do every time I share in a group or anything, I put my link. So any of my books, my journal, you can find me.
Awesome. You guys, let's thank her for being with us tonight, Miss Cheryl Northern LeGrand. I thank you for being with me tonight. And it lets me know I all right. I just like you. And you paving the way. You the mother and author. You got all those wonderful kids. You go,
I want to say
girl.
one thing. I just want to say one thing. I thank Miss Angela Thompson because I'm connected to her through so many books and so many platforms, and I'm truly humble and grateful for her for allowing me to be part of the 100 authors and so much more. So I have to give credit where it's due. I have to acknowledge her. I'm on the radio station. I'm on the 5 a.m. I'm doing poetry I never did. And thank you, too. So I like to give acknowledgement where it's due. And it's been truly a humbling experience and a blessing.
Now, wasn't I telling y'all about this 100 off the movement? See, I've been telling y'all. Y'all thought I'm a kid. We all
Mhm,
in this. So y'all just need to go ahead and join. If you look at
mhm,
each one of the authors that are in group, you see them flourishing. You see them going to higher levels. All y'all got to do is go on The Crew, or you can look for the 100 Author Movement, or you can look under Angela Thomas Smith.
Yeah.
Telling you, it's like, matter of
Mhm.
fact, it's like the mom with all the family behind them that's
Mhm.
rooting them on and helping them to continue to grow. That's
Yeah.
how we doing it. So you just heard
Yeah.
a testimonial from
Mhm.
someone in the group, okay? And believe
Mhm.
you me, you're gonna be hearing plenty more, okay?
Yes.
So
Thank
you
you.
guys, another author, another Tuesday night. Thank you
Mhm.
again, Miss Cheryl, for being with us
Thank.
tonight.
Mhm. And thank you.
You're welcome. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Whew. Okay. Everybody gone?